Can I tell you a story you probably haven't heard yet? And if you're still watching, I assume that's a yes, so buckle up. Only 2 days after deciding to separate, I went on a trip to Iceland with my ex. We climbed into a campervan, not knowing what the journey would bring. 8 whole days stretched ahead of us. Time to face emotions we hadn't even processed yet. We made only one rule for the trip: hold space for each other and let the journey unfold naturally. No logistics, no planning for the future, just raw emotions and the open road, as cheesy as it sounds. Some moments were really heavy, but others were filled with laughter. In the canyons, I danced freely, letting nature guide me forward. The mountains, the many rainbows, and crashing waves all seemed to remind me that it was okay to feel everything at once. And believe me, I felt everything. Over those 8 days, something unexpected happened. I started writing again. Words poured out of me like they'd been waiting for years. It wasn't just writing, though. It felt like finally letting myself process everything I'd been holding inside. Months later, I revisited the footage from Iceland that I had taken during the entire 8 days as well. It had stayed untouched, a vault of emotions I wasn't ready to process yet. But as I read the poem aloud for the first time, it felt like my voice was coming back to me. A few months later, I found myself in front of a piano. My fingers found a haunting melody that seemed to capture everything I couldn't put into words. It became the missing piece, the soundtrack for this story. It felt like a new beginning, separate paths, but a new spark of creativity. Grief had unearthed something raw and meaningful, a reminder that pain can lead to growth. With the poem as my inspiration, I completed a piano composition with the help of my friend Teddy, who could play piano because I sure couldn't. Don't know how that worked out. But then I was able to pull together all of my Iceland film and create a story, a document, a living document, a visual document of what it feels like to separate. What it feels like to separate from someone you truly loved. I'm really grateful for this journey, for the opportunity to turn my grief into art and process all of the emotions that I didn't know how to handle, for the friendship that we built and the growth that came from choosing separate paths. This project tells the story of our ending, but it also affirms that there's lingering love, a beacon of hope for anyone navigating their own darkness. I really hope my story resonates with someone that needs to know that they're not alone, that your feelings, your emotions, they're worth feeling, they're worth processing, and that it's going to be okay in the end. I had no clue as to the beauty that was waiting for me on the other side of my pain. You can watch the full film on my YouTube, but I'm also curious to learn. What have you learned from your own struggles?